Sports Network presents Pittsburgh Pirate Baseball. This Pirate Cablecast game is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Reach for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by your Pennsylvania Subaru dealers. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Daly's Juice Products, who reminds you there's a Daly's treat for everyone.
It's Pirate Baseball time, live from Three River Stadium. The Philadelphia Phillies against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hello to everybody, and welcome to our Action Sports Network cablecast. Along with Steve Blass, this is the old gunner, and we are set as you look at the umpire Eddie Vargo, the crew chief out of Butler, Pennsylvania, Satch Davidson in the foreground, Pat Corrales just being yanked out of the picture by Dave Parker, and with him Dave Pallone and Eric Gregg. And Steve Blass, this could be the start of an electrifying two-game series, but whether either team wins or loses or a sweep by either one, this race is far from over.
That's true, Bob. You made a very good point. These are two ball games. Both of these teams are going to be around in the latter part of August and September, and this is going to go a long way. Watching Larry McWilliams coming in, and a word about Larry McWilliams. He's done a great whale of a job for the Pirates since coming over from the Atlanta Braves. His overall record is 6-4, but since he's been here, he's 4-1. And he's got a 2.04 earned run average. And a very good statistic about Larry McWilliams is the fact that he's only given up 8 bases on balls while striking out 26.
Let me ask you, the forkball apparently is something he's had in his repertoire for quite some time. A very effective pitch for him.
Excellent, Bob. It's a super pitch because he throws a hard fastball and a hard breaking ball. That gives him an off-speed pitch, and you've got to have that to be effective over the long haul.
We might add our other partner, Dave Justy, is away with what we call a seminar for his company with whom he is associated, American Express, who will not be with us tonight, so we wish him good luck as the Buccos take the field. What do we see in the way of Dick Ruthven when he comes aboard, Steve?
Well, he's a pretty true pitcher, Bob. He's coming in with an 8-7 record. He's been a very effective pitcher in July. He's 2-1 with a 1.74 earned run average to bring down his overall earned run average to 307. He's pretty standard. He goes with a fastball that he'll cut every once in a while. I was talking with Tug McGraw, and he'll cut that on purpose, and he seems to be a little bit inconsistent with that particular pitch. So he'll throw you a regular fastball, and he'll cut it every once in a while and throw a curveball along with it.
Okay, fine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Liska from Greenville, Pennsylvania, will help us honor this great country of ours and the great sport of baseball in the rendition of our national anthem. Miss Lisa Liska, ladies and gentlemen. As you saw the last shot of Old Glory, it is a very limp flag tonight. Absolutely no wind at all. Jason Thompson will be our first baseman. Johnny Ray, the stinger, will be at second. We'll talk about him in a moment. Dale Barra, who's knocking them dead, is playing at shortstop. Billy Madlock is at third. The left fielder, the hitman, Mike Easler. In center field, the antelope, named by Lanny Pateri, Omar Marino. And I named this guy the Cobra. His name is Dave Parker.
Yes, it is.
He can pop him. He's going to be on with us at great length when we have the Cardinal Series, which we'll cablecast. You now look at the gentleman whom I believe will be the greatest catcher in Pirate history before his career is over, Tony Pena. Eddie Vargo from Butler, Pennsylvania. And there is our pitcher, Larry McWilliams. And you must admit, Steve Blass, a most welcome addition to the Pirate staff.
He's done that fine. You've got to have, Bob. And in 35 innings, he's only given up 2 home runs, which tells you a couple things. One of which is the fact that he throws that sinking, running fastball that the hitters have a tendency to hit on top of. And he just has done a whale of a job. He won his first 3 games, lost a good ball game that he very well could have won, and then came back and looked impressive in his last outing against Cincinnati.
Steve, secret, too, I suspect, of his forkball, throwing it with the very same motion as we look at the Phillies batting order of Rose and company. You can watch it. The same motion with the arm, with the fastball and slider and the forkball, which makes the forkball all that more effective, right?
Exactly. He throws it off the same motion. He's got to pick up that motion. And on top of that, Bob, as we'll watch him throw a little bit, he's got that herky-jerky motion, which will get that hitter's rhythm off a little bit. He's very tough for the hitters to pick up.
You know, you think it's easy to be a baseball player. I was talking to him on the Gunner Network over this past weekend as you look at Pete Rose, and a remarkable thing I found out. His wife is in Texas. They sold their home where they were in Atlanta. She went and bought a home. He hasn't seen it yet. She's down there signing up all the papers, rearing the children, and she said, I'll see you sometime in August. So, you know, Mrs. McWilliams is doing the job while he's doing the job for the Buccos.
Well, I hope he likes the house.
Yeah, I hope he does, too. I hope he likes the mortgage payments. Look at us now. Defensively, Easler, Marino, and Parker, left, center, and right. Madlock, Barrow, Ray, and Thompson around the infield. Mac Williams and Pena. Now, Eddie Vargo will be our plate umpire. He's the crew chief. First base umpire will be Eric Gregg. And you see him right there in the background as Mac Williams warms up. Dave Pallone at second, and Satch Davidson is at third. Well, Steve, when we first started our cable casting here on Action Sports Network, we were 11 and a half games back.
Well,
we
what
have
a job
lost
we've
only
done.
one game since we've been on the cable, and we've come to within 3 and a half, and I think that you and I, along with David, are absolutely the only reason the Pirates have nothing to do with it.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that we've brought them this far. I think we ought to leave them on their own for the rest of the year.
All right. Well, folks, that's tongue-in-cheek, as you well know. Here is Mr. Hall of Fame, whenever he decides to hang it up, Pete Rose. Where was he yesterday? On Monday when Jimmy Rooker had his big turnout up there, working out. Rose at 285, 1 homer, 33 runs batted in. Mac Williams for a ball. Madlock up tight third, outfield slightly right. Foul way, 1 ball, 1 strike. Good crowd on hand tonight. Now tonight, as I told you, the wind is not a factor, but the humidity is that, and Steve will speak to that in a moment. A 1 ball, 1 strike count to Rose. Fouled away. Humidity is a factor, Steve.
Boy, it is, Bob. It's going to take it out of these pitchers. It takes it out of everybody, but the pitchers in particular. And I was even noticing Larry McWilliams went down to warm up quite late because you obviously don't need as much time. So I'm sure he's aware of going to be aware of conserving every drop of energy he has.
1-2 pitch, check swing, comebacker to the shortstop, Dale Berra. Has to hurry, got him. Might add, Steve, what about the flight of the ball? Can you expect long ball hitting on a night like tonight or not?
No, not with this heavy air. The ball have a tendency to be pushed down, not to a noticeable degree. If you hit it, it's still going to go, but it won't fly on those cool, dry, like it does on those cool, dry days.
Okay, Ivan De Jesus batting at 2.54, and he's in with 1 homer and 34 runs batted in. The key to the Philadelphia Ball Club, aside from their pitching, is Rose De Jesus to get on for Matthew Schmidt and Diaz to go to Fifth City.
Yep.
There's a foul. McWilliams with that quick, herky-jerky motion. You call him sneaky fast, Steve, or what would you call him?
I would call him sneaky fast, Bob, because he comes out of there with not much of a windup, and it's really tough to pick him up. In fact, those 2 balls that Rose fouled off, he wasn't quite with him.
There's a blistering shot for a strike. Now we'll watch Tony Pena. He may go straight out. He was talking to Steve and me about sometimes how he gets way down. This time he's staying in the crouch, which he says is tougher. It looks like he wants to pitch away. He got it away, in a sense, And the breaking ball infielded down there very quickly by that smart guy, got the name of Dave Bristol, I do believe. And that be he coaching third. Bobby Wine over at first. Never forget when Gene Mock managed the Philadelphia Phillies, he had one of the greatest lineups of all time. White, Wine, and Boozer. Remember that?
That was a tough crew. I pitched against that crew.
Yeah. 0-2. Struck him out. What was that? Fork ball, maybe? It looked like it.
Yeah, was that fork ball or curve ball, Bob? I would guess fork ball because it looked like he had Ivan way out in front on the pitch.
So now he turns over to Madlock and says, I got 2 out over there, Mad Dog. Mad Dog nods his head and says, I know it. Throw the ball, man. I'm with you. Now here's Gary Matthews, a very fine outfielder, batting at .273, and he's in with 15 home runs and 58 runs batted in. 2 down, no score, first inning. Mr. John Galbraith is here. His son Dan is here. Mr. Pickett from Columbus, Ohio, in to watch the Buccos against the Philadelphia Phillies in a very exciting 2-game set. Neither breaker for either club. Danny Galbraith will be on with us at the end of the second inning, by the way. For those of you watching over in the Columbus area on our Warner cable system, we hope you'll stay around. We'll have Danny aboard with us. Again, remind you, our partner Dave Gusty at a seminar, and will rejoin us at a later date. Not tonight. Ball 2, strike 1, 2 down, none on, no score, first inning.
That's that good curveball right there, Bob. We'll notice, I think, the curveball as opposed to the forkball because that forkball is more of an off-speed pitch, has a tendency to have the hitters a lot more out in front of it.
Back to live action. Fouled it back.
You know, the point you made, Bob, about getting those first 2 hitters on being a key for the Phillies is so true because Gary Matthews is in with 13 game-winning RBIs, and he trails only Keith Hernandez of the Cardinals.
Speaking of the Cardinals, I'll go over there to broadcast tomorrow night. Jack Buck is in New York with CBS. He's going to be doing a lot of football, and he's asked us to come over and I'll scout him a little bit, huh?
There we go.
We got a big series coming up with him in around the middle of August, and we're going to be cabling a bunch of them the 13th and 14th of August. Doubleheader with his Cardinals on the cable, but you all come out and join us. Ooh, that pitch was close. But you're not going to argue with that man behind the plate, although they're looking just a tad. But he is one of the best ball and strike umpires I think I've ever seen, Eddie Vargo.
He's excellent, Bob. I worked with Eddie several times. He keeps control of the ball game. You find very few arguments. The man is in control and has the respect of the players.
How about that one? That lit up the lights on Broadway, and that becomes the second strikeout and retires the side. So it's 3 up and 3 down in the Philadelphia first inning. We go now to the bottom of the first. We'll be looking to Marino, Ray, and Madlock. No score. We'll be back after this.
To check your local cable listings for Pittsburgh Pirate baseball games this summer, direct to you live from Three River Stadium, right here on this cable system.
The Pirate Bat Boys do a great job of cleaning up our batting helmets. But for you, Hines and the Pirates have something better. This is the hitman, Mike Geisha, for Hines Helmet Day. On Sunday, August 8th, all children 14 and under will receive a free Pirate helmet, courtesy of Hines. You'll look super in your new Pirate helmet, and one size fits everyone. Let me see, almost everyone. Call 323-1150 for tickets.
Well, I'll tell you something, Steve Blass. We better keep our eye on this guy because he's going to be a broadcaster when he's finished playing ball. As you look at Pete Rose at first base, take a look at this man at second. He's going for a record. No errors after 86 games. Trio at second. De Jesus at shortstop. And the powerful, great ball player, Mike Schmidt at third. Gary Matthews in left field. Bob Denier in center. Billy Robinson playing out in the right field. Bo Diaz behind the plate. Dick Ruthven again on the mound. He's 8-7 on the year. One more time about him as we look at our lineup, Steve.
Okay, Bob. Standard fastball and curveball straight change. He'll cut the fastball on occasion and has had the reputation of going deep in the count. He tries to set up a hitter for a particular pitch.
All right, and he's away with his first pitch, as you saw there. Marino at 247, 3 homers and 30 runs batted in. Fly ball, center field, Dernier. Right almost in his tracks. One away. They were overshifted far left there, not figuring he would pull. They hit him perfectly. I wonder in the old days when Cobb and Ruth before, well, back in the Wagner days and Cobb days, I wonder how well they played the hitters then. You know, I've never been able to talk to anybody. Well, Mr. Rickey once told me they didn't defense them like they do now.
I would guess that to be the truth, Bob. I wonder if they had that much of a sophisticated scouting system and looked at these players and kept the kind of records and charts they do now.
And a deader ball and everything they played. This is the Stinger, Johnny Ray, batting at 6 homers, 39 runs batted in. I went to him and I said, I got to put a name on you, lad. Stingray. I said, that Stingray is a fearful animal. I said, you ever get wrapped with a stingray? He says, I've never been in the water. There's a stinger right there.
That's got it.
You know, what I want to do, if you don't mind, I named him the Cobra and Dave Parker the Cobra, and I named Don Hope the Tiger and Billy Bird and the Quail. I think Stingray would be good for him. And fans, I'd like to see you all get behind him for a fan club, number 1. Number 2, make some banners up, and the one that comes up with the most original banner that you can have when we come back to you on the cable in August about a stingray and the stinger, we'll make a judgment. Steve and Dave and I, we're faking the run as Madlock at 298 is in there, 8 homers, 55 runs batted in. Bring those banners out here, and we'll judge which ones are the best, and we'll give you some tickets to future Pirate ball games. All right?
Sounds good.
Make them up. You know what you can make up a big. You know what a stingray looks like, a manta ray. You know, big long. But I'll tell you, he stings them.
He stings that ball. That's a perfect name for him.
A stinger, stingray. He wrapped that little tomato.
We were standing around the batting cage before the game, Bob, watching John Ray take batting practice, and Dale Bear and I were talking. Dale says, I think he was born with that swing. He's just got a great swing.
He's unbelievable, and he loves to play the game, too. He's from Oklahoma, and he said, I hear you graduated from Oklahoma. When did you go? I said, before your mother and daddy ever got married. I said, now, let's not. He said, you have good football teams? I said, yeah, about like 0-1.
0-1?
Well, we had an Indian coach by the name of Tom Stidham, never got out of the teepee. Pitched out. They thought, now there's a pitch out with a guy that can throw strikes. How about us now? Would we be inclined to run on 2-1, you think?
I don't know. They say in textbook baseball, it's a perfect situation, so we'll have to check it out. It's a good situation because you got to figure the pitcher's got to come back and throw a strike right now.
Or run hit. We'll see what they're doing. They're going. And it's hit toward third. Schmidt's got it only the one play on the first, so we divined it. I don't know that was too sharp. I mean, you know, when he goes 2-1 on a pitch out, you almost figure the guy's going to throw a strike, so we went on it.
Yeah, it's a good percentage move.
Jason Thompson, 296, 18 homers and 60 runs batted in. Well, Nelson Goldberg is getting all geared up. They got a Xerox Nelson. You know that? He's got to do Ohio State basketball, Penn State football. He's got the Pirates and everything. We've got to clone him in about 7 directions and then try to find him after that.
Send a car each direction.
Yeah, a Subaru, a Brat. Foul back. That's a pretty good pitch there. Now, there's the point where they say baseball is a game of inches. That was just a fraction of an inch. Could have been a home run versus a foul ball.
It's so delicate when you talk about making contact with the ball. It comes down to a quarter of an inch on the surface of the bat so many times. That ball, he hit the bottom part of the ball.
No score. Ruthven, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, Ruthven is 0-1 against us this year, and Mac Williams is 0-1 against Philadelphia. The first of a 2-game series. It's not make or break for either club, but we'd like to win it as they'd like to win it. So, and we have a good crowd, and we hope there'll be a bigger crowd tomorrow. We appreciate all the great letters you're sending in from all around. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it was brought out the other day in the testimony at the stadium issue before City Council that significantly cable casting increases home attendance, which was a very interesting thing. Mr. Galba said, I never realized that. And they showed him the statistics. He said, that's wonderful. 2 balls and a strike. Slam to right, base hit. Here comes the Stinger around third. He will score. Thompson to second. He is out of there. But the run counts. All right, good play, but we score as Thompson knocks in run number 61. Listen to the roar. Well, now the play went then into right field. Robinson into Diaz and on up to short for the out. And a fine play. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. So, as you watch the replay here, Steve.
There he is, gets a good rip, hits that ball right in the hole between first and second. That's going to bring him in. 2 outs, he's running.
All right, so we'll see Schmidt, Diaz, and Robinson later. 1-0 Buccos back after these messages.
Y104, where you can hear prime album cuts.
And now you find yourself in 82.
Certified prime cuts all the time on Y104. Block party weekends, commercial-free Mondays, and prime cuts. Y104.
We'd like to remind you the announcers on this cable cast are contracted and paid for by the Action Sports Network. Any rebroadcast or other use of the accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Action Sports Network and Pittsburgh Pirates is strictly prohibited. Well, you're looking at the big donkey right here. Mike Schmidt, 291, 15 homers, 41 runs batted in, and a foul back.
Well, it's a pleasure to watch he and people like Rose and so many of these guys play, Bob. They're thorough professionals. I think that's a really simple definition of Mike Schmidt, but that's how he approaches his craft.
He can rack them. Well, Froggy Morris just walked in from the booth here with Steve Blaff, and Froggy in his diary, I don't know what he's going to write in the way of a diary, except the guys in white are the Pirates, Frog.
White,
yeah, that's Pittsburgh in white. Ball 2, strike 1. Mike Schmidt, needless to say, we're playing him about straight away. He can hit to all fields. And I guess with the velocity of McWilliams, you wouldn't play him to pull that much, would you?
No, that ball is running away from him when Larry turns the ball over, so they've got to respect him in all fields. And they're maybe giving him a step, but it's pretty much straight away, and they respect his power of pull.
And very deep everywhere. The only guy up is Thompson at first. And he wraps it foul at third. Madlock playing a tight third, by the way, with Schmidt up there. This is a fine baseball club. I'll remind you, ladies and gentlemen, around the 3rd inning, Danny Galbraith, the president of the ball club, will be in to visit with us. And you don't think his daddy isn't a rooter. You found that out, didn't you, Stephen? When you clinched the pennant in 71, here's Madlock playing a tight third. Our camera crew is right on everything. Our thanks to them. He got it. What was that pitch? Something that went away from him in a hurry.
That looked like an off-speed pitch, Bob. It could have been that fork ball, which have a tendency to go straight down, and he looked like he had Schmidt out in front.
Now, that's his 3rd strikeout and his 3rd in a row. That'll bring up Bo Diaz at 290, 16 homers, and 59 runs batted in.
You know, Bob, when we say Larry McWilliams is sneaky fast, that pretty much is just from coming out of that quick windup, because he's got good stuff.
Now, could Pena be out saying to him, hey, you got away with a mistake, or you threw something there? I mean, he came out to talk to him, or would he be talking to him about Diaz? I don't know.
I think Tony might know something about Diaz, because it looked like that last pitch was the pitch he wanted to make.
All right. Communication between you and the catcher is so important, Steve.
It's critical.
A ball.
You know, Bob, in that same vein, it almost gets to the point when you're working with a catcher frequently, and if you're the catcher working with all these pitchers, you almost have such a communication that you anticipate what he's going to call for. And they almost anticipate what you want to throw. You almost get a flow working between you.
Which is so important, and the confidence that the pitcher has in his catcher. We'll get into something. As he throws the ball back, you, when you're in that thing, you rather shake your pitcher off.
Very, very seldom.
Unless you're decoying, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I might shake him off. Sangi might have come out, or any catcher comes out and say, I want you to throw a fastball, and just shake me off a couple times. And you do that every once in a while if you think they might be picking up your signals, too.
Ball 2.
Doesn't look like Larry McWilliams is too sneaky fast tonight. It looks like he's just fast. Coming out of there good.
Now that's the farthest he's dropped in the ball and strike count. He's 3-0.
And even there, it's a pretty good sign, Bob, because he's missing low. If you're missing high, that'll be signs of tiring, which you might look for later on.
Fly ball left field, Easler. That's the first ball hit out of the infield against McWilliams. Pirates lead 1-0.
Bob, if you recall the 1-0 game that Larry pitched against the Houston Astros, we had several ground balls. Hardly, I think there were like 5 or 6 balls to the outfield during the course of the entire ball game.
Here's Billy Robinson. Been a great credit to the game of baseball. Billy batting at .229, 5 homers and 18 runs batted in. Whoa, did he bring that one to the inside corner?
That's the Express, not the Limited.
We lead 1-0. We are in the top of the second. And if you're just getting into our cable cast, Ray stung one to right and scored on Thompson's single. Ball 1, strike 1, 2 down, no score for Philadelphia. Robinson pulls to short, and the throw by Berra got him for the out. He went out after an outside pitch, it looked like to me, and pulled it, and thus that brought him about a 6-3 out. So it was 3 up and 3 down in the top half of the second inning for the Philadelphia Phillies. Parker, Easler, and Pena due up in the bottom of the second. Bucks lead 1-0 back after these messages.
They have done a super job in bringing some fantastic fireworks displays to Three Rivers this year. This is Chuck Tanner inviting you to the final Atari Fireworks Night on Saturday, August the 21st. We'll be meeting the Tough Dodgers at 7:05. Then after that, Atari will present a fireworks display you people won't forget. Make your plans today and join us on Atari Fireworks Night, Saturday, August 21st. Call 323-1150.
Well, what a great way. There's Mommy with that crowd. Look at that. What number they got on that little, looks like a Philadelphia Philly uniform there for a second. Got the stripe on. What's the difference there? It says Pirates on there, though. Had a way to come there.
Yeah, early start.
Yeah, all right. You know, here we go now with Parker at 271. The Cobra with 6 homers, 29 runs batted in. Our next cable cast will be the Cardinals against the Buccos, Sunday, August 15th. That's a doubleheader. It'll start at 1:05. I think I put the wrong time up there for you, but it'll be a 1:05 start, doubleheader. Ball 1 and no strikes. Foul ball. Cardinals, you know, in this doubleheader, we're going to have our pregame activities at 12:45, and Dave Parker is going to be aboard with us, followed by both games. It's going to be a big doubleheader, so be with us right here on the Action Sports Cable Network, August the 15th. Down to first and Rose unassisted. I told you I'm going to have the pleasure of going over. Jack Buck has asked me to go over and do some Cardinal baseball this fall, and he has some big meetings in New York, so I'm going over tomorrow. I'll scout them and come back and call you. But they are a good ball club.
Yes, they are, Bob. I think they've done a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for at the beginning of the season. Their pitching has been much stronger than expected.
Unfortunately for Sutter, he hasn't been as strong as they'd like him to be.
No, and they're still winning, so
Yep.
if he gets hot, that really could be a big factor in this pennant race.
All right, we have Easler at 277, straight away in the outfield. And that's hit high out into left field. Matthews settling under, 2 away.
You know, Bob, we got kind of a haze settling in over the ballpark now, and those outfielders have to pick the ball up quite quickly.
Well, here's Pena batting at 3-1-3 with 6 homers and 46 runs batted in. He loves to play. He was telling Steve and me why he likes to go into a crouch and lay flat out. St. Gain used to catch you that way now and then, Steve.
Yes, he would, Bob. And both these fellows seem to think that takes a little strain off the knees, getting away from that constant kneeling position. They can relax a little bit.
Here's the pitch. Fouled away. I'd like to wish a happy birthday, a 30th happy birthday to Bobby Wills. He's out of our Allegheny Valley Senior School, and God bless him. He's enjoying his birthday with his family and loves Pirate baseball. Bobby Wills, 30 years young, from Allegheny Valley Senior School. Oh, and 1. Fouled away. You know, Hartley King and his group from, they sent in a record, King's Country Shops. They're attending tonight's game. They're at Section 240, rows B through E. They got a whole flock of folks coming out here. Froggy came out, so that's a commission of 1.
He can hold his own, though.
Yeah, old Frog can hold his own. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Bucks lead 1-0.
I've got a golf match lined up with Froggy at some point during the summer, and I'm hoping it costs him a couple bucks. I'm not sure, though. I've heard some good things about the way he plays for money.
What? One and 2 to count. I don't think he just sort of fought that one off.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting that curveball to be up there in his eyes that high.
We scored in the first inning. In the event you're just getting into our cable cast with 1 down, Ray single to right, old Stingray. That's why we're going to call him the Stinger or Stingray. You can make up some banners about him. We'll have him out here and look at him. There's a fly ball in the left center, but Dernier is going to get into this one without too much trouble to haul it in. Stevie Blass will be coming up here with some more play-by-play action shortly, and a little later on, Danny Galbraith will be joining us, the president of the ball club. That inning showed for us 3 up, 3 down. They'll have Trio, Dernier, and Ruthven coming up. 1-0 Pittsburgh into 2. Back after these messages. Well, how about this? Willie Stargell night, Monday, September the 6th. The Bucks meet the New York Mets at 5:05. We want to give you cable viewers details on how to win this great Subaru Brat that you'll be seeing here, too, in a moment. By the way, our Action Sports Network did a lot of stuff. You've got some surprises for you coming up. Now, here's the Subaru Brat, Post Office Box 93, New Kensington, Pennsylvania, 15068. I've been driving it. Now, any licensed driver, 21 years of age or older, is eligible. No purchase, nothing. All you got to do is send a postcard in. The deadline is for September the 15th at 5:30. Mail your postcards as you saw to that Subaru Brat. Offer void where prohibited by law. I'm driving it. It's great. You're going to enjoy it. And I won't hurt it any, and we're going to give it away. Now, speaking of brats, here's one that isn't a brat. My old buddy here, Steve Blass, to carry you along the way.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Manny Trio is going to lead it off for the Phillies in the top of the 3rd, and he'll be followed by Bob Dernier and Dick Ruthven. Larry McWilliams has retired 6 straight batters as he works the trio. Fastball inside. You notice that Larry McWilliams, or at least we're noticing, he's not taking too many warm-up pitches between innings either. These fellows are going to try to conserve their energy. One nothing Pirates, top of the 3rd inning. Tony, okay, we're going to call a timeout there. Trio steps out. McWilliams starts and then stops.
I guess Trio was the second baseman they had to go get. When
he tied it all together, Bob, as he fouls the ball back there, and he's doing an exciting thing now, going after that record. And the Philly stat sheets are all full of all kind of things that he's going to accomplish here defensively if he keeps on going. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fouled off again, 2-2. The outfield will be playing him a little bit to the opposite field also. When you've got a guy that throws hard like McWilliams, unless the fellow's a dead pull hitter, you'll find that most of the time they'll be giving them a straightaway or maybe a step the opposite way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good looking pitch there.
You'd like to have had that if you were throwing? Or pitching, pardon me, not throwing. Nobody should ever say a pitcher's a thrower.
Well, sometimes that's the case, though. There's a ball bounced off the hands to Dale Barrett short. over Jason Thompson, one down, the top of the third. Larry McWilliams got that ball right in on his fist. Now we saw Tony Pena going to the inside part of the plate on both of those last two pitches, and Larry McWilliams put it right there and made the exact pitch he was trying to do. You see Dale Bear and Larry McWilliams working back. Bob Dernier in at 256, 4 home runs, 20 RBIs. And this guy can go get the ball in center field. Williams looks in. Ball inside. You can see Tony Pena. He'll move to the inside part of the plate. He's a very active catcher back there, and you'll see him most of the time after he gives the signal move out, as he moved outside there. Here fouls that ball out in the crowd. There. I'm pretty happy he got that ball. Larry said he's going to shave if he wins tonight. So far, it looks like he's going to have to go find a razor blade pretty quickly.
Well, yeah. As long as his wife's down in Texas, she bought the home, signing all the papers. What's he care if he looks like the House of David till she gets back?
That's right. There might not be enough money to buy a razor blade. She might have spent it all on the house. 2-1 to Dernier, 1 out in the top of the third. Good curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, our high home camera, Larry Gaetano's here. Our camera at first base, high first is John Burdick, and low third is Jim Hewitt. And out in center field, Frank Marsico. These fellows are doing a great job. You know, it takes a while, like in spring training. You got to work and find out who does what, and you can just see it all come together. The camera works supreme. Absolutely outstanding, fellas.
Yep. Coordination. I've been amazed, Bob, because I've never done this, but seeing you work with these fellas and seeing them have the communication back and forth. There it is.
Broadway, huh?
Call the cops. He's
Yeah.
out.
Number 4, Stevie.
Good
Huh?
fastball. 4 strikeouts. That's the first call.
A lot of times, Steve, people don't realize that when telecasters, cablecasters in our case, look at this now, come right in. He doesn't even get a chance to pull the trigger. He just sitting there and says, "What is that thing going by?"
That's it.
Ed Vargo says, "Go home, lad.
That's
Sit
it.
down." I think the thing is that as you watch Ruthven, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. He won't. I think we can probably chat a little bit, Bob. He's not been much of a threat here at the plate.
Yeah, he's only hit 114.
Yeah.
But I wanted to point out that what has to happen a lot of times, Tommy Hewitt and Chip Conley down in the truck directing and all this, producing all this, they get talking to a cameraman like Larry or John or Jim or Frank. Then they talk to Steve and to me, and we got to figure out which one they're talking to while we're talking to you. It gets confusing now and then.
Boy, it does. And the coordination is really impressive. And, so is that curveball Larry McWilliams just threw Dick Ruthven. 2 out here in the top of the third. Got a little piece of that fastball. You know, this is the greatest thing in the world, too. Larry McWilliams has thrown a minimal number of pitches. He's had some strikeouts, but he hasn't had any people on base, and that becomes so much of a factor late in the ball game with this humidity and this heat because, as you can see, he's not the world's biggest man. He doesn't have too much in reserve. There it is.
Foul tip.
Fouled it off.
I would think, Steve, that his attitude tonight would be, and Tanner probably said to him, "Give me as much as you can, 5-6 innings, and I'll go get you. If the heat gets you, give me what you got, and if it's too tough, see you later."
That's right. That's exactly the philosophy you've got to have. As much as you can, as long as you can. Goes away with him, 2-2. You go as hard as you can, as long as you can. And try to throw strikes. That's another factor on a night like this. Ooh, good night. Call strike 3. Larry McWilliams is bringing it up there. 3 up, 3 down on the top of the third. And at the end of 2.5 innings, we've got the Pirates up 1-0. We'll be right back after this.
To check your local cable listings for Pittsburgh Pirate baseball games this summer, direct to you live from Three River Stadium, right here on this cable system.
beautiful music, too. Plan to join us on Stroh's Old Timers Day, Saturday, August 7th, when we play against the World Series stars of the 70s. Yeah!
Don't tell me you're very proud of that.
No,
But
I
I'm-
didn't realize I gave up a stage career.
Yeah, I'm glad of it, too. All of us here, by the way, at TCS and TCI are very excited about our new Action Sports Network. And to make it a success, we'd like to hear from you. What do you want to see? How can we improve our cable cast? And whatever thoughts and suggestions that you might have, all you got to do is drop us a line, let us know. After all, we're here for your viewing pleasure, so let us hear from you. TCS TCI 890 Constitution Boulevard, New Kensington 15068. We are having fun. We're leading 1-0. There's a lot of exciting cable casting coming your way, but come on out and support the Buccos and get with us, folks, because we got ourselves some real good baseball going. And to you folks down in Weirton, God bless you. Keep driving. Just great to hear about Jack Redline and Chuck Cronin and Carl Baldessari, co-chairman of the joint study with Red Arango and Walt Bish and John Chernenko. The work you're all doing down there at Weirton Steel. We got a lot of great folks down there. You hadn't met them when you played at my charity event at Williams Country Club.
Boy, they are a delightful group of people.
They're going all the way. Okay, Stevie.
Okay, Dale Barrett will lead it off in the Pirate third. Ethan Works. Well, it's such a pleasure to talk to Dale before the game, Bob. He's having so much more fun, and I think it's obvious. You play better baseball when you're having fun. You're relaxed. He's really enjoying it right now. Pirates out in front, 1-0 in the bottom of the third inning. And Dick Ruffin, I'm sure he's feeling the same way. He wants to throw as many strikes as he can to keep that energy. Good breaking ball. Smacked it down to third.
Ooh.
Schmidt backs up, makes a good play, and gets it over to Rose in time. Now, that ball had a tendency to eat Mike Schmidt up a little bit. He went back.
Almost caught him right in between. He just hung in there, and I want to tell you something. A lot of you young infielders, I want to remind you one thing. I learned this when they tried it. Watch this now. Watch his head. You watch Mike Schmidt's head if we get the shot here. That's a pretty wicked shot. Now look at Mike Schmidt, you young infielder. We're going to get there in a second. See how his head was down? You can always get your head up and out of the way. He stayed right with it on that in-between hop. And I remember when they were trying to teach me how to play first base, Frank Frisch said, keep your head down. Stay down. I used to watch Maz, and they all stay down, because if the ball takes a bad hop, you'd be amazed. You get your head out of the way. Okay, Steve.
That's exactly right. Larry McWilliams up at 176. There's one out in the bottom of the third. That ball's hit down the left field line. It's going to fall in. Matthews over, and he'll hold Larry McWilliams to a single. Larry went the opposite way. We've got a man on first base.
You know, if these pitchers of ours keep hitting, the rest of these guys are going to start getting embarrassed.
I'll tell you, we're standing around the batting cage. Pitchers know the terminology of hitting all the time, but now Rodin's talking to Robinson about, I want to take somebody out to right field. Go the opposite way. Now, now that's pretty cocky. These guys love to swing the bat, and with Robinson and Rodin leading the way, we got some kind of pitching staff.
Well, Robinson pumped him out of here tonight in batting practice. He had a ton of them out.
He did. He's strong. He really swings the bat hard. Okay, we got Williams on first, Omar Marino up. I'll take the ball outside. Now, believe me, they won't have Larry McWilliams doing anything down at first base but relaxing until that ball gets in motion. They want to keep him strong as long as they can. There's Ruffin. Swung on. That ball's lining, bouncing to right field. Base hit. Now they'll hold Larry McWilliams up at second. They'll get the ball back in, but the Pirates got runners on first and second. One out. Omar punched that ball right between first and second.
A very good bit of base running we were able to catch from up here. Mac Williams, knowing the ball was hit into right field, went to second. Now the ball at that point is behind him. His job is to look over to Joe Lonnet coaching at third. He sees Lonnet put the sign on. McWilliams goes back into second base. Good base running, great third base coaching.
That's being alert.
Joe Lonnet.
Okay. There's a good veteran right there, and he knows what he's doing at third base.
Well, let's get some points. Here's the stinger up. Now, folks, come on and make us some banners. And so when we come out here, we want to start judging who's got some good banners. We're going to give away some Pirate tickets. Hooray for Johnny. That's like that. But make something that has to do with a stingray. The stinger is up there. We got a new, this time we got a Cobra and a stingray going at him, right?
We got it. We hope to see him both this inning. Johnny Ray, 1 for 1. He scored the only Pirate run so far tonight. McWilliams on second, Marino on first. Inside the ball. Now you'll notice also, if we get anything in between somebody, you'll see Omar Marino knowing exactly where Larry McWilliams is, too, running these bases. Those pitchers aren't exactly familiar with what's going on out there. So Omar will be watching him. 1-1 to Ray. Swung on line to Schmidt.
The only way they'll do it.
Wow, what a play by Mike Schmidt over to second to Manny Trio, and that's as simple as that. That play goes 5-4. So very quickly, the Pirates are taken out of an inning, and they come up with no runs, 2 Pirate hits, no Philly errors, and 1 left on. So at the end of 3 complete, the Pirates 1, the Phillies nothing, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, President Dan Galbraith from Columbus, Ohio. And Dan, I think about a month ago, you thought the ball club 11.5 back was gone. Well, you didn't maybe, but here they are going for the bundle.
I didn't think they were gone, Bob. That might sound like a front office statement, but I've said over the years that in order to win a pennant, you have to have 1 or 2 of your young kids come through. And we had just great confidence in the Rays, the Peñas, and the Berras that once they start to click, it could turn the whole club around. Obviously, they've not done it by themselves, but it all seems to be gelling at the same time now. And going into the hot summer months and in the fall, that youth movement could carry this right on into the championship, which I'm counting on.
Well, I had the chance to talk to your father, and he told me you had a good 2-year-old by the name of Loose Cannon, and he explained to me what a loose cannon was all about. We'll get back to the action in a moment, but wouldn't it be great if we could win the World Championship and Loose Cannon could win a Derby for the Galbraiths? Is that out of Derby, Dan, or not, or out of your stable?
Out of my stable. But, Bob, I think that's one of the best ideas you've had in a long time.
Well, I come up with them every now and then. Dan, I think one of the things that's very exciting about the ball club, too, is now through this cable system, you're able to see the games in Youngstown, where Boom Boom Mancini had a great night, and over in Columbus, and we're getting all kinds of fans.
Oh, they are. We have a lot of fans in Columbus, not just because of where that's our home, but a lot of these young fellas played in Columbus with the Jets. And I have people stop me all the time and say, how is this guy doing or that guy doing? They're still Pirate fans over there.
Well, okay, Danny, thank you so much for dropping by. I know how excited you and your father are about it. We'll keep trying to bring you a bunch of winners. We've only lost 1 on the cable. There's no sense in starting now.
Don't start now. That's right, Bob. Nice to be with you.
Thank you, Dan Galbraith, president of the Pittsburgh Baseball Club. Here's Steve Blass.
Okay, Bob. Pete Rose will lead it off in the top of the 4th, and he takes a pitch down low. Pete bounced out to short his first time up. Pirates lead it 1-0 here in the top of the 4th. Larry McWilliams has faced 9 hitters, and they've all gone down. Swung on there's bounced up to Johnny Ray at second. He'll make the play over to Jason Thompson, who's got 1 down. That's 10 out of 10 for the crafty left-hander. He's not too crafty tonight. He's just bringing it up there to him in a hurry.
When you were pitching, when did you start worrying about a no-hitter? About the 9th inning? What's the farthest you ever got, Steve?
I got 6 1/3. I got into the 7th inning one time in Forbes Field, and I was never so excited in my whole life. And John Candelaria made a good point in your pregame interview with him. You know exactly what's going on. You know if you're having trouble, and you know if you've got it going.
You know, there was never a no-hitter thrown at Forbes Field by anybody in the history of that great ballpark. Came close. Bobby Moose came within a couple of outs.
Yes, he did. He had it in the 9th inning.
Nobody ever fired one up there. Okay, Stevie. Jesus is up. We're still leading 1-0.
Okay. Takes a pitch down 1-1. Ivan DeJesus was Larry McWilliams' first strikeout victim in the first inning. Larry has 5. Been very, very impressive. Keeping the ball in the strike zone, that's imperative on a night like this against a ball club like this. Swung on, foul down the right field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Steve and I want to wish a happy 33rd wedding anniversary to Bob and Dorothy Scheich. Wanted to do that in the Pirate third, but we had Danny Galbraith with us for a moment. But anyhow, a happy 33rd, Bob and Dorothy.
1-2, swung on line, on 1 hop to Johnny Ray. He's there. Over to Thompson, 2 down. Get that 4-3 machine going. Got 2 up, 2 down, the top of the 4th inning. Bucks on top, wins it.
You can't win 1-0 unless you make plays like that. There's only been 1 ball hit out of the infield. Diaz hit at the left.
That's right.
So his ball and that type of thing with either strikeouts, turning it over, but sinking pitches, let's hope he can keep that up for a while.
That'll be the key, because you'll tell if a guy like Larry McWilliams gets tired, he'll start coming up. Takes that pitch inside. Being very effective. Very effective. Matthews also struck out in the first inning. Good fastball, just missing. He's popping that ball. He's got some things rolling across in front of Larry.
I thought Eddie called that last pitch a strike. Now, I must have missed his sign.
Yeah, that ball got away from him a little bit. Now, the last time he was only this deep in the count once, that was to Diaz when he popped the ball out into left field when he had the green light.
Now look at, see, Matthews has gone down to take a good long look at what's happening at third. Now, somebody is talking to Eddie Vargo. And I don't know whether they're asking about, they're asking for the count. You see, they saw Vargo throw his right hand up in the air. And I saw him on the second pitch go up with his right hand, and I thought the count was 2 balls and a strike. But has he indicated?
I think he's staying with 3-0, Bob.
I think he is.
I saw the same thing. Yeah.
All right, that's it. But, you know, I thought his hand went up. And both sides questioning the count. But it's ball 4, obviously. And Eddie is letting you know that's what it is, and I don't want to hear any more.
That's right. The fans were a little confused, too. They thought it was still 3-1. That's the first base runner for the Phillies, and that's going to bring up Mike Schmidt with Matthews on first base. 2 out, top of the 4th inning. Bucks up 1-zip. Tony Pena moving some people around. I think he wants Dave Parker over a little bit more in right center.
That right hand of Eddie Vargo, he's had that hand mangled with foul tips. He had to have a lot of surgery on it. It's been very difficult for him.
Okay, good fastball on Mike Schmidt. That's an interesting situation right there, Bob. This is the first time he's thrown from the stretch since he's been down the bullpen warming up. And that's very impressive. He had good mustard on that ball. He's coordinated. His body was with his arm just exactly the way it should be. He's into it tonight. Ooh, there's a good breaking ball. Good curveball. 0-2 to Mike Schmidt now. You'll watch Larry McWilliams try to do a little pitching now. He certainly doesn't want to give him anything to hit. Doesn't want to get too fine.
You can be behind 2-1 in a hurry with this guy.
Oh, immediately.
And he knows that, don't you think?
I'm sure that's the first thing in his mind right now. He wants to keep away from his power. If it's not, it should be.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. That breaking ball. Good breaking ball.
If he's throwing that fork ball, ladies and gentlemen, he's putting that ball back in between his forefinger and middle finger as far back as he can push it. Then he is delivering it as hard as he can do it, and it's starting to rain. We're getting a little rain, and some of the folks are getting out of the unprotected sections. Not raining hard yet, but it's coming down just a tad. Okay, Stevie.
Yep. Okay, 0-2 now. Good fastball. Swing and miss, strike 3. That's the 6th strikeout for Larry McWilliams, and the Phillies go rather quietly in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no Pirate errors, 1 man left on. And at the end of 3.5, it's the Pirates 1, the Phillies nothing. We'll be right back after these messages.
The umpire is Eddie Vargo. He must have had some kind of a warning that there may be a deluge approaching from some near distant area, so he's going to suspend the game at this point and go for it. Walter Hagen Golf Tournament is going to be presented by the American Cancer Society, and the place will be that gorgeous Pittsburgh Field Club in Fox Chapel, Pennsylvania. And that's going to be September the 13th, a 1 o'clock shotgun start. It'll be $100 per golfer, 100% deductible. That includes cocktails and dinner. Best ball of 4 for stroke play. Now, the winning team will be eligible to participate in the state championship at the Downington Inn and Country Club, with the winner going to the national finals at Doral Inn and Country Club in Florida. Bailey Banks and Biddle has donated a beautiful silver trophy valued at over $1,000, which will be engraved with the winners' names and which will reside at the home club of the winning team. So to get in on this great one, and I've had the pleasure of playing in it, contact Thomas Smith or Gene Scanlon at 281-7272. That's the Walter Hagen Golf Tournament, fighting that dread cancer, and it'll be at the beautiful St. Clair Country Club, September the 13th. You talk about a beautiful country club down there at Williams when they played in the Bob French Classic, and Steve Blass took a look down there, and at one table were 4 guys, John Unitas, Gordie Howe, Brooks Robinson, and Joe DiMaggio, and that is a quartet of All-Americas. If you ever looked at it, folks were absolutely amazed. The monies that they raised for the Weirton United Way, and our thanks to Jack Redline and the wonderful people in the membership at Williams Country Club for allowing us to play there for that event. Ray, Barra, Matlock. Okay, as is, Mac Williams and Pena. Now, as you look here at That is Billy Robinson there, but it'll be Bo Diaz in front. It'll be the first batter. Diaz, Robinson, and Trio. Steve and I would like to call your attention again to the fact that our partner, Dave Justy, is away on a business seminar for American Express and will be back. You saw a lot of the Steve Blass campers having a great time here, and we're delighted about that, and we're happy that you're enjoying this cablecast. We're sure that you are, wherever you might be looking in, and thank you for inviting us into your homes or wherever you might be viewing us. This is Bo Diaz. He flied to left field. He is the only man to strike a ball out of the infield through the first 4 innings of play. Mac Williams retired the first 11. He walked Matthews, and then he struck out Schmidt for the second time, giving him 6 strikeouts on the evening. We will watch also the situation regarding Manny Trio, trying to set a new record as we watch Kevin, our young pirate parrot, cavorting around down on the Philadelphia dugout. This would be a major league record, most consecutive chances, no errors, 458 by Baltimore's Jerry Adair through 89 ball games. Major league record, most consecutive errors games in the league, 91 by Joe Morgan. So Manny Trio has committed only 1 error this year on the very first ball that he touched on opening day, and he hasn't made 1 since.
And that was a pickoff play.
Yeah, here's Diaz, fly to left. What would this hour and some odd delay? Well, it's hard to say. That's a stupid question on my part. You really don't know what it can do to you, can you? Could be good, could be bad.
Yeah, Bob, I've seen guys come out both ways. Come out firing again, and I've seen them just get lit up and not look like the same pitcher, so...
Fly ball, left field, catchable. Hit rather deep, Marino Collins on the warning track. That's the best ball hit tonight against Mac Williams.
Yeah. And that's a good start, Bob. After that delay, I'm sure Larry McWilliams is wondering, too, you know, not necessarily thinking, well, am I all right, but wanting to get out there and get established again and get back into the flow of the game. And that first out, you know, that's a big key for him, and I'm sure he's happy to get that one.
Buccos lead 1-0, and Billy Robinson, a very dangerous batter, standing in, grounded out to short back in the second inning. Ball 1, no strikes. Trio has set a major league record of consecutive chances accepted without an error this year. He started tonight's game with 186 putouts, 268 assists. So we can add to that in a moment as you look at Robinson. He has had 187 putouts. Now I'm going to start adding these things up. 2 balls and a strike, and he has 269 assists.
Talking to Tub McGraw before the game, Bob, he said Manny Trio's got the best range he's ever seen on an infielder.
Well, they really went after him. I was trying to figure, and you might get a chance to look up under Trio for whom they gave up to pick him up from Chicago. Well, there's a beauty, and that strikeout, my friends, is number 7. Number 7 swinging. And let me see. Of his strikeouts have been 1. There have been 2 called third strikes.
Say, Bob,
yes.
Manny Trio was acquired from the Cubs along with Dave Rader and Greg Gross on February 23rd, 1979 for Barry Foote, Jerry Martin, as you see that ball wedged in there, Ted Sizemore, Derek Bathello, and Henry Mack. That's a bunch of players. They were after him.
And I think they're all long gone outside of Barry Foote.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Trio just did exactly what they had to have. I was trying to think who they had over there at second base in Philadelphia for a while. You played against them so long, and, you know, I mean, Trio's the guy that stepped in there.
They had Terry Harmon.
Yeah.
I know he played a little bit for him.
When did they acquire him, Stevie? Does it say what date that occurred?
Yes, in the winter of 1979 in February.
All right, so sawed him off on a comebacker. Side is retired. Mac Williams is pitching masterfully. If he can continue this and hook it up with that Candelaria, see you later, this is some kind of action. So, ladies and gentlemen, Eastler, Pena, and Barrett due up next. The Bucks lead 1-0. We'll be back after this.
Be sure to check your local cable listings for Pittsburgh Pirate baseball games this summer, direct to you live from Three River Stadium, right here on this cable system.
The Pirate Bat Boys do a great job of cleaning up our batting helmet. But for you, Hines and the Pirates have something better. This is the hitman, Mike Gates, for Hines Helmet Day. On Sunday, August 8th, all children 14 and under will receive a free Pirate helmet, courtesy of Hines. You'll look super in your new Pirate helmet, and one size fits everyone. Let me see, almost everyone. Call 323-1150 for tickets.
We lead 1-0 as you look at the paid attendance tonight, 23,609. Great attendance. 25,245 in the park. We thank you. And I don't know how many million looking in. We're so thrilled you're aboard with us on the cable. And this cable cast you're now watching is just the beginning of what we think is a new entertaining package called the Action Sports Network. We'll be broadcasting 11 more Pirate games this summer through your local cable system. We're all really excited about it, so make certain that you listen for further details about expanded sports and entertainment programming. We'll call your local cable company, and you can enjoy these games, too. I know that Penn State football is going to be coming your way, and there's a big one with Temple. We'll tell you about that later on. All right, the hitman, Eastler. Let's look at his bat. Tommy Hewitt, come up tight. There he is. Thank you, Tommy. And our high home, Larry Gaetano. Look at how high he's holding it. I think when he's up there a little bit, he feels a little more comfortable on that high stuff, Stevie.
Yeah, he seems to be quite comfortable with it, Bob, and he can drop down if he has to. It's easier to come back down from a swing like that because he almost gets back down there.
Whipping shot, Trio. There's another shot. Now, Trio has accepted as he throws out Eastler, chance number 270 without an error.
And
unbelievable, isn't it?
The thing is, Bob, too, with his range, he goes after balls and takes chances on plays. Right. He just doesn't sit there and take the easy ones.
He could run into an error. He could run into an error.
Exactly right.
Alvin Dark used to go way far left and run more errors. You know, and you'd say to yourself, well, he made 15 errors. You say, yeah, but there's about 25 shortstops around the league that wouldn't even get to the place.
Exactly right.
Here's Pena now, wide to center. That was a slot curve, but that'd have been out a little bit. He might have given that hello Honda.
That's it. That could have been there.
That could have been Martha's Vineyard. 1 ball, no strikes to Pena. Dick Brewston.
Another one.
You know, those two pitches look like he aimed the ball.
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
Yeah, you can, Bob, especially with a breaking ball. You get out there and you try to be so careful when you aim it, and you consequently forget about the concentration of snapping the ball down, and you hang it up in their face.
Ball 3.
You know, it's just exactly what we're talking to the boys up at camp about. I work with these young pitchers, and the kids have a tendency to think about so many things they forget to get their arm out in front of their body and release the ball out in front, and consequently they got a high curveball.
3-0. Strike. 1 out, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. The batter Pena. We are in the bottom half of the 5th inning after a 1-hour, 37-minute delay. He has picked up strike number 2 and the count of 3-2. Now Pena, the catcher, would be least likely as he looks at Joe Lonnet for I don't know why. Except it's nice to see Joe. Oh, what a play by Rose. Give him credit. Look at him get him. I got to applaud that. Great play, Pete Rose. Great play, Pete Rose. Magnificent. You can't do that. Great play. Look at Pena.
Tony doesn't know what happened on that play.
Absolutely
great
remarkable.
Job.
Look at him.
Those are reactions. Here it is, Bob. You're going to see him slapping the ball hard, and it's going to skip on that wet turf, and we're going to see Rose diving straight out. That's a full extension, folks. Watch him get up. He's going to recover, and he wants it. He wants this play himself, and he's going to take it And it's as simple as that. That's the way this game should be played right there. What a great play.
Unbelievable. Just fantastic. Boy, I like to see plays like that. I know it's against us. That was a sure double.
Oh, that's great baseball.
Tony's 24 years of age, and holy Toledo. That 42-year-old rascal went out and got him.
That seems unfair.
This is Adeo Barra. Bounced out the third. His only time up thus far tonight, as Dick Ruthven seems to be settling down. Game 1-0 Pittsburgh. We scored in the first. Fly ball right center, rather deep. Dernier and Robinson. It is Robinson calling, and he takes it with Dernier backing up underneath. So the inning showed no runs, no hits, but one fantastic play by Pete Rose on Pena. That might be the play of the game before it's over. Dernier, Ruthven, and Rose will bat when we come up at the end of 5. We'll be back after these messages.
Sports quiz. In 1941, Ted Williams hit 406, yet did not win baseball's MVP. Who did? You have 5 seconds to answer.
From coast to coast, that's all you'll hear of Joe, the one-man show. He's glorified the horse-hot fear, Jolson Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio.
Steve Blass, as you look at the Pirate Ferret, when Joe DiMaggio walked into St. Clair Country Club Monday, July 12, to participate and get ready in the Bob Prince Golf Classic for charity, what did you think? Did you get duck bumps when he walked into that room?
I got goosebumps, Bob, and I got up the courage, and I went up and said, Mr. DiMaggio, I'd like to have your autograph. I'm 40 years old. It's not for my son. It's for me, and I think very highly.
Did you tell him who you were?
I did.
He knew you, too.
Yeah, and he said it was his pleasure, and it was one of the nicest things you could have happen.
Bristol's trying to kick Kevin out there, and he's laughing. There's a great guy, Davey Bristol. We're going out tomorrow and try the links at St. Clair. He and Cloud Osteen. Gomer. He looks like Gomer, doesn't he?
He does. And they won't beat it. They won't take the course record.
No, they won't take it. Oh, you rascal, Kevin! What are you doing?
How about that?
You get away with murder. Well, of course we're waiting here. There's the Cardinals and the Mets are 2-2. As I. It'll be my pleasure to go out tomorrow and do that ball game with Lou Brock and Mike Shannon. Back to the situation, Jim Rooker. And were you able to play Monday? And that I couldn't. You had your camp, and I apologize. To the state troopers and all, and I just apologize for not being able to make it. But I got involved in some commitments that I could not get out of, and. It was a great chair, and they tell me it was an absolute sellout. Dick Grote and Jerry Lynch's golf course champions, which is gorgeous. So congratulations to Jim Rooker and state troopers and all that put it on for the Special Olympics. It was an outstanding success. Dernier was a strikeout victim on a called third strike back in the 3rd inning. Now, let me just tell you what McWilliams has done through 5. He has only faced 16 batters, has not allowed a hit. And pops it up the first base side. Stay in there where he can get it. Oh, no. Fan interference. Doggone it. That fan realized he cost us an out.
Now they got Jason's hat.
Well, they got to get that hat. But I want to tell you something. If that young girl had kept her hands the heck out of the way, that's an out. Now, of course, the ball's in the stands. There's not interference. I mean, you watch this. Watch it. The ball's inside the fence, so you can't get on it. But if she stays out of there, you know, he's got the out. Watch it, Steve.
Yeah, they're coming over. Fans will want to get into the play, and this doesn't happen often, but it happens every once in a while. Jason's got a chance. He's on the ball, and we see some hands up there.
Right there.
And he's going to catch the ball.
Yeah, the lady takes it right away from him, and so does the guy with her. I don't blame him, but if this guy gets a base hit, I'd like to get down there and talk to him a little bit. They're near now. Ball 1, strike 2. They had him out. I'll tell you right now, that ball's out. He's out. And we'd be going against Ruthven. The count is 2-2. I'm not really getting on the fan, except I know when he gets up in there, you're going to reach for it. But hey, when you're just one row into the railing and it's your team, get your hands out of the way. Catch him when the opposition's up there. Right, Stephen?
There we go. We'll get that sequence.
Yeah. You got to think. 2-2. Got him. Got him for 2 outs. Got him on a pop-up foul and then struck him out.
That's the quickest 2 outs we got all year.
Yeah.
He did a heck of a job.
That strikeout is number 8.
Wow.
Was that a foul tip by any chance?
I didn't think he got any part of it. He just
All right.
cleared him out.
Career high for Larry, single game. Here comes Ruthven. 1-0 Pittsburgh, 6th inning. He retired the first 11 in order. He then walked Matthews and struck out Mike Schmidt, so that he's 12 out of 13. He then went to 15 out of 16. He is now 16 out of 17. Ball 1, strike 1 to Ruthven. He was called out on strikes in the third. When you strike out people, you're throwing a lot of pitches. Remember that. Foul back.
Thing is, Bob, too, that adrenaline gets going when you got this kind of a game going, and you're not aware of the fact that you might get tired later on. The one thing is, you got to really harness that adrenaline that's going. Keep yourself under control and not try to do more than you can possibly do.
That's why I wondered, Steve, whether or not maybe that hour and some odd delay might have done him some good. You know, pump him up a little bit. Good night. That's number 9, and these folks are starting to go wild.
They got him pumped up now. They belong to Larry McWilliams. This crowd's with him right now. All of a sudden, they are turned on.
Well, the game ain't over. And here he comes. Now, that is a friendly boo. You cannot boo this man Rose, but you can applaud McWilliams. Pete Rose is 0 for 2. What I'd like to tell all you folks is that the more you boo this guy, as he ties Ty Cobb, 3,033 games played tonight. The more you boo Rose, the more you get him ready to knock your block off. Oh, yeah. I want to tell you, I'd applaud him every time he comes up. I'd do everything I could to make him feel happy. Cabrera, he's out of there. You know, suppose I could broadcast my 7th no-hitter to you.
I'd love it.
I got 6 of
love
them. They got your mic turned on? All right, 3 up, 3 down, and we have completed 5.5 innings. McWilliams, Marino, and Ray will be next. And wait till you hear the hand from Marino coming up back after these messages. Well, here it is. Look at that. The Bucks are back. They sure are. That's a great banner. We still are family, or we are still family. Now, make up your banners, won't you? So Steve and Dave and I can judge as you look at the scoreboard. There's the final. Montreal won a game over the Cubbies 4-3. San Diego beat Atlanta 4-1, and they're winning the doubleheader. Here's McWilliams. Listen. Standing ovation. Look at him. Standing ovation. Don't tell me that Pittsburgh and the tri-state area fans that come here don't appreciate great baseball.
Well, I'll tell you.
McWilliams singled, by the way, back in the 3rd inning. Let's not forget that.
He's doing it all.
Yes,
I'll tell you, what a night he's having.
He hasn't won this game either, but he's working it. We're in the 6th inning, leading 1-0 on what has been a magnificent performance on the part of both ball clubs.
Oh, dirty trick. Dirty trick.
You can't throw him breaking balls, can he?
Not when he's pitching this kind of game.
Did you ever give a pitcher heck for throwing you a breaking ball?
Well, I kind of looked at him funny because he had no business doing it.
I don't think Ruthven cares, do you?
No, I don't think his case won't be heard till tomorrow at least.
The outfield is shallow, and they might as well all be in the infield. Good night. No, he fouled it off. I want to tell you, the left fielder Matthews is in like Ashburn used to play you. Ashburn's broadcasting over here now with Tim McCarver and all of them.
And I think if Pat Corrales sees him net as shallow as he is, as deep as he is, he'll call him in even more.
And you know why William Matthews is in so tight in left field? There he is. Look at it. Because McWilliams singled right out there the first time up. Look how tight he is on it. Well, he got him. He dropped the ball, so strikeout and a put-out. That is the first strikeout for Ruthven, and credit Diaz with a put-out.
Well, that was a great ovation they gave Larry McWilliams, Bob. And those players are so aware of that. That pumps you up. I don't care what anybody says. That puts a little charge in you.
I remember one you got, dear friend.
Oh, yes, yes. Yep, right after we had that little meeting in the clubhouse in Baltimore.
Yeah. You and I, partner, and I watched you go out there and put a World Series ring on our fingers along with all your teammates. Champions of the world in 1971 after being down no games to 2.
That's right.
Here's Marino, fly to center, single to right. We lead 1-0. Off-speed pitch, as you saw. Pirates 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. And 0 across the board for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, when you so far, I don't care whether he gets a no-hitter or not. Oh, I do. But if you can go 6 innings against Rose, De Jesus, Matthew Schmidt, Diaz, and Robinson, the trio, and Denier without a hit, you have done something for 6 innings, my friend. So stay with us. We got a masterpiece going so far. Base hit to right center. Skip through there. Go for extra bases. We got a bug on the rug. Where's my bug? He's going to try 3. Where is my bug? My little bug. Where's my bug? Did they take it? What'd they do with it?
Nelson had it.
Oh, Nelson took it. How can he take my bug? That'll bring this infield up, Steve.
Yeah.
That ball on that wet turf really took off, did it?
It skips. It really takes off a shot. No matter how much they vacuum it, we've got it ruled as a double and an error on the center fielder, Bob.
All right, then. Take back the triple and go a double and put an E on Denier. That's a pretty tough error. I'll tell you why. Marino was running all the way on that one. But in any event, get him a double, which puts him at second, and move him over to third on the E8, and bring the infield into the stinger. Now, here we need the stinger. Ball 2. Stinger singled to right and scored back in the first inning. The Stingray, who, by the way, stung one in the third inning, a line drive that Mike Schmidt made a fantastic play on and converted it into a double play. Or we might have had the big inning. That was the difference right there. Ball 3. You know, and that's back in that third inning with 1 out. McWilliams single, Marino single. Now we got 2 on. If with 1 out and Ray gets that ball past Schmidt when he hit a bullet, that's good for 1-2 runs. That might have broken the game wide open. So give Mike Schmidt a lot of credit.
You got Madlock coming up next, too, if that ball gets through.
Marino. Fly ball left center. Matthews coming on. Tagging Marino. There'll be a race here. Catch. Throw. Coming in. Marino wins it. Now let's see if they're going to appeal at third. Safe at third. He didn't leave in time. Satch Davidson on the appeal rule safe. Sacrifice fly for the Stingray. I tell you, that wasn't one he'd be too proud of because you had to have that antelope out there to bring that run in.
That's right. Omar Marino scores that run. I don't know.
He's the only one.
That's exactly right.
You wouldn't have tried it.
No. First of all, I probably wouldn't have been on third.
Yeah.
We got him in. That's a big run for Larry McWilliams, too. That takes a little bit of the heat off.
Now, Madlock. He is 0 for 2. Grounded to third and lined to right field. Pretty soon you and I got to start thinking about the capital player of the game, you know. And you got to go down and interview him, and the point is, if it's who it stays like it is, all the announcers in town are going to want him.
It's going to be like the Oklahoma Land Rush.
Yeah. That ball's hit down the line to left field. We got a shot and kiss it goodbye. Well, that's a line drive dinger, huh?
Boy, I'll tell you, Bill Madlock hits a lot of line drives, and that got some distance to it, and that ball got out of here in a hurry.
Yeah, Gary Matthews knew she was bye-bye little baby. So now the Buccos lead by the score of 3-0 as Jason Thompson with 2 down stands in. Jason with a base hit and a run batted in and robbed on a brilliant play by De Jesus back in the 4th. Pirates lead now 3-0. Yep. There is action in the bullpen for the Phillies. Number 40, Steve, and 49. A strike, 1 and 2.
49 is Sid Mons.
All right. And who's number, the left-hander, or the right-hander is, I said 39.
Yes, Aldo Marino, I think, who's a right-handed pitcher, Bob, number 30. I'm not mistaken.
That's the guy, number 30. Okay. Marino and Mungie. All right. If you only knew where Mungie was back in the early days when I called for Mungie. That is something when I go out on the banquet circuit, as you look at the Jason Thompson fan club, 2/3 of them that I've seen in uniform. 2-2. Uh-oh, lit him up. He threw a backup pitch there, something that backed up and caught the plate. That is his second strikeout. It retires the side. So the Buccos have a productive inning with a double and an error, with Marino getting the double. Sacrifice fly Ray, home run Madlock. Bucks lead 3-0, end of 6. We'll be back after these messages. There's the bug right there. That's that bug on the rug. That's funny. Created by Herman Huser. I hope from Trenton, Pennsylvania, the Bucko bug. Look at that. That's that bug on the rug. I'll tell you.
He looks tired. He just came around. He got us a run.
Yeah, he sure did.
He can do everything. He's loose on the rug.
Fantastic. Well, coming up at the end of the game, Steve and I are going to select the Capel Pirate Star of the game. The winner's going to receive a gift certificate from Capel's. And we want to thank our good friends at Capel's Jewelers for making this award possible. They're famous for diamonds the world over. Located at downtown on Liberty Avenue, over on the north side of the mall over there, and out in Washington, Pennsylvania Mall, and just opened up a new magnificent location in the Village Square opposite South Hills Village. The Capel Jewelers Player of the Game. And it's going to be a tough decision. What our biggest decision is going to be, if it's this guy right here, is how Steve's going to get him, because Philadelphia's going to want him, and Lanny and Rook are going to want him. And meanwhile, I want Steve Blass to come in here and start doing some more play-by-play.
Okay, Bob, we'll try to protect that lead. We've got a couple extras to work with. 3-0 Bucks here in the top of the 7th. And Larry McWilliams, who is doing it, is going to face Ivan DeJesus, Gary Matthews, and Mike Schmidt. Top of the 7th, 3-0 Bucks. Starts out with a bouncer to Johnny Ray at second base. 1 pitch, 1 out. A big inning right now for Larry McWilliams. You love to hold that opposing team scoreless after you score. Just seems to give everybody a lift. And just makes a good sinking fastball, a good pitch to DeJesus. Comes up with a ground ball to the sure man at second.
He's just said something over there to Madlock about where he might be pitching Matthews. Tomorrow might be Christensen. We think it's going to be Roden for us. Another big match with the Phillies.
Should be a dandy. Another good sinking fastball.
I think an important part, as you know, Steve, if we can be fortunate to win this game against Philadelphia, it gives you the pressure to put on them to stop the sweep of a 2-game series. And the worst that can happen is they go out of here and they haven't won or lost a thing, and we haven't won or lost anything.
That's right.
We got the edge.
Takes the heat off because it can make a 2-game swing. Big 2-game swing right now. You're getting to the point of the season where those things, even though these aren't do-or-die series, they are important. Swing and bounce right of Jason Thompson, base hit.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad it was that kind of a hit. You don't like a little ding-a-ling. That was a great base hit. Now, here's what you got to do is make doggone sure this guy doesn't take it out of the park. However, we're leading 3-0, and that's comfortable.
Well, that makes a big difference right in this situation. The fans, again, a lot of the people standing for Larry McWilliams. Tony Pena's out there. And we got Barrett. Okay, you see it again.
What he does, he just stays with that low outside pitch and rips it to right, and Jason had no play at all on the ball. Now, that is the first hit of the ball game, and it comes after he had retired 19 of the first 20 men to face him. That is some kind of pitching.
Wow. It sure is. So that's going to bring up Michael Schmidt again. As Bob pointed out, we've got 3 runs. This is an entirely different situation than if we were leading 1-0. Not that he's going to relax and let up, but now he can still stay with his kind of pitching now. And he'll take a look and swung on. Schmidt fouls the ball back.
You know, another thing I think the big edge, you as a former pitcher would know, this guy's capable of hitting the ball out of any park, including Yellowstone. Now, when you're leading 3-0, even though you don't want it to happen, if you did make the mistake, you're still leading by 1 in this situation.
Big factor, big factor. That makes it so much easier for Larry McWilliams to pitch right now. Good fastball, and he pops it up to center field. Omar Marino's backing up, but he's right there. We got 2 down. Good pitch. That gets the big man out of the way, Bob. Now you got Bo Diaz. Now he can take the ball out of the ballpark too, but your big threat right now is Mike Schmidt, and he's gone for the time being.
As you look at Marino, by the way, Larry McWilliams is still looking for a place to live. He'd like to rent an apartment or something. He got a wife and 2 little daughters. She just bought a home in Texas, and when he comes back off the next road trip, he'd like to be able to settle down with Mom and the kitty. So if you have anything, get in touch with the Pirates. Here's Diaz. Go ahead, Stevie.
Okay, 2 down. Ball 1. Still got Gary Matthews at first base. Now, he won't be going anywhere. He's going to be hanging in there. He is up for the 3rd time. Slide to left, slide to center. Swing and foul ball.
You know, Steve, they got some pretty good poppers, Matthews, Schmidt, and Diaz. You go, that's fence power there, 15, 15, and 60. You got 30. You got 46 home runs and a little over 130 ribbies in those 3 batters.
Just emphasizes that point. You keep Rose and DeJesus off of those guys. You got a shot at 1 at a time at least if they take you out.
You got to do that.
1-1 to Bo Diaz. 2 outs, man on first. Swung on top, foul outside first base, but Jason won't have room for this one. That ball he went over for a couple innings ago that he wasn't able to get to because of fan obstruction. Larry Williams took the heat off of that by striking the batter out on the next pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outfield straight away to Diaz. Gary Matthews on first base. And Larry McWilliams is coming along nicely. See the signs. Now, it's a little too long for Diaz. He's going to step out. He wants to feel comfortable in there.
What's this sign? Tell me what you think he's calling.
Okay, he's calling for, looks like the initial sign was a fastball outside. We'll watch Tony move. Staying right about this. One and missed.
Got it.
Great pitch.
It was out there and slid right in. Looked like a slider coming in there, didn't it?
Yep. Hard breaking ball, hard curve ball or slider. And that's his 10th strikeout. What a job he is doing. For the Phillies in the top of the 7th, no runs, 1 hit, no Pirate errors, 1 man left on. At the end of 6 1/2, 3-0 Pirates. We'll be back after this.
Be sure to check your local cable listings for Pittsburgh Pirate baseball games this summer, direct to you live from Three River Stadium, right here on this cable system.
Hi, this is Steve Nicosh for Nichols Pennant Day. You know, when I was a kid, I'd do anything to get a pennant of my favorite team. I used to put them up all over my room. On Sunday, August 15th, the Pirates and Nichols are giving away a Pirate pennant to every fan who attends our 105 doubleheader against the Cardinals. Call 323-1150 and remember Nichols Pennant Day on Sunday, August 15th. Some guys just can't wait.
Okay, Bob, we're going to the bottom of the 7th. The Pirates ahead 3-0. Now, you know the Pirates are just beginning to give us all a thrill. And one of the most thrilling things has to be Pirate baseball. Now, on August 15th, the Red Hot Bucks will face the St. Louis Cardinals in a doubleheader. Pre-game activities are going to begin at 12:45, followed by both games of this crucial doubleheader with the Redbirds. So be sure to catch all the action on this, the Action Sports Cable Network. And there's the gunner up there with a bug on the rug. You got it. Okay. We got Big David Parker coming up to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning.
No, we don't want a bug on rug from him. We want to kiss one goodbye. Huh?
Make it easy on us. It's a hot night. 3-0. The Bucks out ahead. The bottom of the 7th inning.
David is going to go on with us in the era in which we cable cast the Cardinal series you just talked about. We're going to spend a lot of time just talking to David about when he was a very young man in Ohio.
Great. Okay, working. Got him on the breaking ball again. 2 off-speed pitches he's thrown to David. David thus far tonight has grounded out to Pete Rose at first and banged out to Manny Trio at second. Now, Ruthven has started him off with a couple breaking balls. You learn a little bit about a pitching pattern right here. Okay. He's going to show him the fastball down low.
Now, Randy Neiman is loosening in our bullpen, but that could only be, either, getting ready maybe, but more likely just loosening up, huh?
Yeah, probably at this point. 1-2, swung on, fouled away again. And again, see, he comes back with that breaking ball. 2 breaking balls, a fastball that he doesn't want him to hit, just showing him. Now he throws him that breaking ball. So it's obvious to me that Dick Ruthven wants to make Parker hit the breaking ball. He's going to show him the fastball. Now he's thrown 3 out of 4 of them. He may try to bust him with one. We'll just watch. It's a good pitching sequence to watch right here. There's that fastball.
Stevie, Philadelphia's Pat Corrales knows that Ruthven is the 4th man up in inning number 8, is now loosening Ron Reed in the event he's going to have to hit for his man. That's what I'm trying to point out to Stevie and you and I. You have to think ahead in this game.
There's that breaking ball again. Fine pitching sequence right there by Dick Ruthven. That's called pitching. And that's Dick Ruthven's 3rd strikeout. And he struck out the last 2 men in a row. Thompson with a called 3rd strike to end the 6th inning and strikes out Parker to start the 7th. Bringing up Michael Easler, who has flied to left and grounded out to second base.
I want you to look at something. Look at his forefinger when we settle down on that. See that right forefinger? He doesn't grasp the bat with that. Oh, brother.
There's that ball skipping out to right center again, and here it comes to second base, and he's going to make it.
Now, let's see whether they go hit error. That's tough out there with that skidding water shot. We'll await a ruling. Funny how he keeps that right forefinger straight out. Doesn't grip the bat. I think he'd sort of hold on with that one.
A lot of hitters will ride that finger up on top in their grip, Bob. And you can see the advantage of that high holding of the bat that he has that you've been talking about. He was able to tomahawk down that ball. It really allows him to handle that high pitch so much better, especially a high breaking ball that he can wait on and still hit that authority. Hit it with a good part of the swing.
I think they ruled double there, and they're going to walk Pena, as you see.
I would. Yeah, you see the fist out there. Sets up the double play. You're going to wind up with Easler on second. Tony Pena on first.
It's going to be the first walk. Given up by Ruthven. As you said at the top of the show, great control pitcher.
Yeah, this has been a well-pitched ball game, a well-played ball game. We've seen Pete Rose made as fine a play as I've seen down at first base early in the ball game. And with the job that Dick Ruthven is doing, excellent pitching, and the super job that Larry McWilliams is doing, we've got ourselves a ball game.
We got another guy loosening up now. That's that Altamirano, Porfirio Altamirano.
And the Tugger.
On your left. And no, that's McGraw now, and Reed is sat down. They're going to the short man. Reed is going to drop. So that is on your left, Altamirano, and Tug McGraw on your right.
Okay, we're going to come up with Dale Barrow, who's 0 for 2, grounded out to third and fly to right. Runners on second, first. Into, of course, a double play position. Good breaking ball. Got away from him. There's Mike Easler leading off at second base. Tony Pena over at first. Swung on, fouled back up in here. No balls, 2 strikes on Dale Barrow. Bottom of the 7th, 3-zip Pirates.
I want to say that Tommy Hewitt and Chip Conley and company down on the truck, and Larry Gaetano and John Burdick and Jimmy Hewitt and Frank Marisco, what a job they're doing here. This is, we're flying tonight, ain't we?
They've been on top of things. There's Tony again. Just saw Mike Easler at second base. 2 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. Okay, going to show him that fastball out there. 3-0 Pirates. We got 1 in the bottom of the 1st, 2 in the 6th. A home run tonight by Bill Madlock, a line shot over the Cincinnati Red sign in left field. Got out of here in a hurry. Okay, 1-2 to Dale. Swung on, bounce wide at third. Schmidt over to second for one. Back to first by Trio. They got him.
Uh-oh. There's an argument. It ain't going to do him any good. He's not going to do him any good. Pena tried to take out De Jesus, and that is some kind of a close play. Ties don't belong to the runner tonight at first base, I'll tell you that, Stephen.
No, sir. That's the second time we got at this situation. So, as the dust settles for the Pirates in the seventh, no runs, one hit, no Philly errors, and one left on. At the end of 7 complete, it's the Pirates 3, the Phillies nothing, and we'll be right back after these messages.
What's more natural than natural light? When one of the best meals in town is going down right in your own backyard, what's more natural than Natural Light beer? Ah, Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch. The beer with the taste for food. Just naturally right with all the good food you love to grill. So when the coals are hot, what's more natural than Natural Light?
Old-timers make beautiful music, too. Plan to join us on Stroh's Old Timers Day, Saturday, August 7th, when we play against the World Series stars of the 70s. Yeah!
Okay, here's the replay now. We're going to take a look. Berra hits the ball wide at third. You're going to watch Schmidt now. Mike Schmidt takes the play, moving over towards second. Makes the play to Trio right here. You're going to see Pena coming after him. The quick exchange is Trio's off the bag, and they get him by a step at first base.
Yep,
Very close.
I want to tell you something. Trio was not on the bag when he got the ball from Schmidt, and if we ran that again, if we have that, Tommy, at your opportunity to do it, I'd like to show you what is real good second base play. I used to watch Maz do that. If you look at it again when Schmidt throws the ball and Trio accepts it, and there's an assist for him without an error, he's off the bag. He's on the third base side. Now look at this. Now watch him. He's across the bag. See that? When he got the ball, he did got the ball after that. So, but nonetheless, he goes right on. And that's good baseball. We do that. When you can get away with that trick, you move it. Watch it. Now that one, I think, is another play. In other words, I think we're safe both times is what I'm trying to tell you.
That could have very well been. If they get very technical about it, that's the truth. Okay, nonetheless, top of the 8th, 3-0 Pirates. Billy Robinson's going to lead it off. And he's 0 for 2, as most of the other Phillies are.
All right, Robinson grounded to short, struck out, fouled it away. We are in the 8th inning, and the score 3-0 Pittsburgh, as McWilliams is trying to back up the zero pitching of what Roden did, Candelaria did, and now the Buccos. And when they kept saying earlier in the papers, they're talking about the Pirate pitching staff ERA being the highest in the league, Steve and David and I thought that was a bit unfair early in our cable cast for one reason. They were talking about what happened with pitchers that are no longer with us. But since these guys have got started to put it together, that ERA is just going down.
Also, Bob, those figures are compiled early in the year, and they're going to linger. You can have a great stretch of pitching, and they're going to stay around a long time.
Good off-speed pitch, not quite in the zone. 3 balls and a strike to Robinson. There's been 1 hit tonight. And the guy that broke up the no-hitter was Gary Matthews. There was what you call easy speed.
Boy, that's a good high fastball. When he comes up, Bob, the impressive thing about Larry tonight is when he comes upstairs, he's got some mustard on him.
Better
he's
have.
down and he's got it turned over.
If you're going to stay up there to Robinson, Schmidt, and Matthews, you better have some mustard on it.
Amen.
It's a full count of 3-2 to Billy Robinson. Don't forget to be sending in your postcards for the Subaru Brat that I'm driving around. We're going to have the drawing on the 15th of September. All you have to do is fill out a postcard and send it in the Subaru Brat here at TCI TCS. 5-ball foul. And put your name and address on it if you're 21 and older. No other restrictions except boards were prohibited by law. And We'll pull a card, and if you win it, you got the brat. Four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, every darn thing you can think is on it. 3-2. Foul back.
Well, that's that good high fastball, Bob, and it's very impressive to me to see Larry McWilliams come upstairs and still throw with that kind of velocity this late in the ball game.
Yep.
That had some mustard on it.
Again, I wonder, however, if that rest of an hour and some odd for the rain could have helped him. I don't know. There's the Subaru Brat address. Foul ball. Now, there's a case where he had him out in front, right?
Yeah, he had him out in front. Threw him a breaking ball on a 3-2 count. That's good confidence right there. That's extremely good confidence. This is a big out for him to get because Chuck Tanner and Harvey Haddix are watching this particular out.
Well, he just lost him, and that is the second walk that he has issued. And that'll bring up Trio, who is 0 for 2. Well, what we need right now is a Hoover.
Simple as that.
Now you'll see somebody getting up in our bullpen that's Piranhas. And number 27 is really throwing, and that's going to be Kent Tekulve. And getting up alongside him is Rod Scurry. Now the A-team just went up to work.
Yeah. Now we're through playing catch.
Yeah, nothing against the other guys. These are the guys that, they were warming up, just gave them a shake. They're the two. The Al and the Big Rod. Oh, brother, what a pick-off try by Pena. It almost picked off Eric Gray, the umpire at first base. I'm not sure he was up there. It was a good call, but Eric had to come up quick. Boy, he's a funny speaker, that Greg, isn't he?
He does a great job with the Dapper Dan, yeah.
He is funny. That's hit down the line. We're in trouble. That's a book rule double. Went into something down there, bounced over a fence or whatever. That's their second hit, so Robinson goes to third, and Trio, who's setting the world record in fielding and assists and putouts. Now they got runners at second and third and none out, and Dernier struck out and both times. And getting ready to stand in, and we're going to have Pena talk. Here's where we want to stall a little bit to give our guys out there to get ready.
Well, that'll be all right anyway, Bob, because Larry McWilliams might not understand what Tony's saying right now, so it'll take him a while to figure it out.
Haddix is going to come out and tell him something about it.
Yep. This is exactly what that is.
Don't forget, on Sunday, August the 15th, we play the Cardinals a doubleheader at 1:05. We're going to cable cast both them. We're going to have some great interviews, and one of them's going to be a big feature. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sure it'll happen with Dave Parker. I really want you to hear as you look at Rod Scurry on your right and Kent Tekulve on your left. Now, they'll stay there until the home plate umpire, Ed Vargo, comes out and says, gang, I want to go to Butler and see Mother and the kids. Eddie Vargo's son, got quite a family, is going to be some football player. I mean, I know Joe Paterno's after him, Purdue's after him. He is a linebacker out of sight from Butler High School. And Eddie's there. His son is some football player. He's got another year to go. Oh, yeah. But he's big.
Yeah.
He's about 6'2", 200-some-odd pounds. He can pop you. Okay, so McWilliams now will be looking around here at Dernier. This is a tough guy to double. He can fly, Dernier. He has been struck out twice. What will happen here, hopefully, is either a pop-up or a double dip. And then you'll see a hitter for Ruthven. Playing everybody straight away. Just missed that outside corner. 3-0 Pittsburgh. Tug McGraw warms alone in the bullpen for Philadelphia. Scurry and Tekulve for the Bucks. The game is on the line. That's Robinson at third, Trio at second. Beautiful play. Knocked down Matlock. Can't make the play. Everybody's safe. Let's see how they rule. If they don't rule base hit on that, I'm going to quit. It is. Dernier on a wrap. Now the bases are loaded, and you're not going to see Ruthven. We're going to see big number 17 come up. Oswaldo Vergil. Ossie Virgil Jr.
All right.
His real pronunciation is Vergil. 278, 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. His daddy was with our ball club, among others, for a long time. A great guy.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's coaching now, I think, for the Padres.
Yep, one of the most likable men you'll ever meet anywhere. Now we are going to see Chuck Tanner come out, and he wants Rod Scurry. He just put his left hand up. He wants Rod Scurry, so while I figure out what happened to McWilliams, Stevie can come in here and give you the action on Big Rod, and we'll double-check one more, but I'm sure with the way he put it up, that's who he asked for. He wants Rod Scurry. Okay, Steve.
Okay, Bob. Left-hander Rod Scurry. You heard Tony Pena talking to him. As you hear a great, great hand. Everybody in the ballpark standing up right now. And you know who it's for. That's a great, great sound. What an outing for Larry McWilliams. Okay, you heard Tony Pena earlier talking about the best curveball in the club, and he's walking in right there. Left-hander Rod Scurry got that tremendous breaking ball, and Rod's coming in with a 4-4 record, 2-1-2 earned run average. He's been doing a whale of a job lately. He got 6 saves, and he has appeared in 47 games. You'll see him taking the ball from Chuck Tanner. There's no mystery what he's got to face. He got the bases loaded. We got nobody out. The ball game's on the line. He's going to be pitching to Ozzie Virgil. We can afford a run here, but this is where we need that first out, Bob. We want to get that first out to get the double play situation set out and stop this momentum a little bit.
All right, now McWilliams went 7 innings. Nobody out here in the 8th. He gave up 3 hits, struck out 10, and walked 2. So he threw a lot of pitches.
He did. I'm sure he's a very tired young man.
Oh, yeah, the 10 strikeouts. That means there's 30 pitches you're throwing right there, not counting the number of foul balls and the ball 1, ball 2, whatever. So he got up over 100 pitches. But kind of an unusual inning when he lost Billy Robinson. I think he thought he had him struck out on the 2-2 pitch. But at any event, he didn't, and he ends up losing him after a couple of foul balls. To Billy Robinson's credit, he worked him for a walk. Then Trejo doubled to left, a legitimate base hit. And Dernier hit a ball that was knocked down by Madlock, but that's as much as they could do. So now we have Verheul coming in to hit for Ruthven, and we have Scurry coming in to pitch. And as the ball girl's down there stretching herself, we'll see whether Verheul still stays in. I would assume he would. He's getting a left-hander for a left-hander, just a little different type of pitcher.
I would guess, Bob. Another note on Rod Scurry, little note in the Pirate notes tonight. Rod has allowed only 3 earned runs in his last 27 appearances. 3 earned runs in the last 27 appearances. And that's over a period of 32 innings for an earned run average of 0.72. That's doing it. And he's 3-1 with 3 saves during that amount of time. So he's been doing a great job.
McWilliams can win this game, and he cannot lose it. He is responsible for all 3 men aboard. Now, Pete Rose will be the on-deck batter. Verheul batting at .278, 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. And that's a ball. Now, Madlock is guarding the line at third, and Jason Thompson likewise at first. So there's a big gap off the first base side to Verheul. Not so much off the left side as Berra shades to the third base bag. Sinking pitch, ball 2. There are not many father-son situations in the big leagues, but this is a proud young man, Ossie Verheul, whose father, Oswaldo Verheul, or Virgil, Ossie Virgil, anglicized, as you look at the swing around the infield and the position of the defense. As Bob Skinner with a son with the White Sox. As Vernon Law with a son who's playing regularly for the White Sox.
And doing a fine job. Excellent job. You know, it's interesting, Bob, all 3 of those people you just mentioned, I don't think it's too incidental either. They come from fine stock.
Yes,
you look at their dads.
And all with a Pirate history.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, yes.
All the cops.
Let's have one more. This is what Stevie said. He'd like to get this guy on a pop-up or a strikeout, then try to double or get a Hoover on Rose, which is tough with Pete up there, but Rose can switch hit. El Duso, that's it. That's El Duso. He showed him a Major League curve. That's the one that we used to write home about in the spring of the year. Mother, they just showed me a Major League breaking ball. I'll be home for dinner shortly.
Make my bed.
Yeah.
Great pitch. Great pitch.
Number 11. A I wish you folks would learn to please do me a favor. Stop booing Pete Rose. He's a great ball player, and you got to admit, you got to be able to say down the year, I saw Pete Rose play. You're going to say that. So why make him mad? Now, I'm going to tell you something else. As a right-hand hitter, he's batting .262. As a left-hand hitter, .294. But we got one out, bases loaded, 3-0 Pittsburgh in the top of the eighth. We're playing Pete a little bit around the right. Strike.
Good point I want to make right there, Bob, is that Pete Rose knows this game well enough. He knows that the curveball is Rod Scurry's pitch, and Rod just threw a great pitch here and showed him that good fastball. Great pitching.
You just saw the bases loaded. Robinson trio near. Strike two. Now what are we going to see? Let's just sit back and watch it. Rose is doing a little thinking. You don't think this guy doesn't have a breaking ball, folks. If he can get it over, he's unbeatable. I'm telling you right now, if he can get it over consistently, he's absolutely unbeatable.
Exactly right. Simple as that.
He's got one of the greatest curveballs you'll ever look at. Boy, he mustard jobbed that baby. Fastball backed him off. He might come back with El Duso on the outside now.
Yeah, this is a great sequence because you're looking at a great hitter and you're looking at a guy trying to outthink him right now.
Look at Rose. Look at Rose. Bouncer. Vera steps on second. Hello, Hoover. Hello, Hoover. You know the key to that? The key to that was Vera stepping on second and throwing to first. We'll talk about it later. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. And the 7.5, we lead 3-0 back after these messages. Here's that replay of that double play. Now, the key to this is obviously first Rose hits it to Berra, but Berra's got to take the play himself, and he does. If he goes to feed that ball off, it's all over. He gets it himself, and then boom, and old Hoover is there. And that was the key to that inning. The great pitching of Rod Scurry. You now see Tug McGraw. So McWilliams' full log in 7 innings of pitching is no runs, 3 hits, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. Rod Scurry on a save thus far. And you now look at Tug McGraw, who is 1-1 on the year and has an ERA of 2.13. And I'll have to double check how many saves. He is coming off very severe arm surgery and was not available to the Phillies for a long part of the early season. But let me tell you, he is some pitcher. McGraw has 4 saves. Of course, he's not working for a save tonight. And he comes up. Isn't it funny? A guy that makes a great pitching effort, whatever, leads off the next inning. Here it is, Scurry. Steve Blass is left to get down and see what he can dredge up for us on the Capel Star. Fouled away. Whomever he selects, and it could be McWilliams, it could be Rod Scurry, those would be 2. And we're not worried about handing out 2 or 3 Capel Stars with lovely gift certificates. Scurry's batting .200. Bottom of the 8th. A 1-hour, 37-minute rain delay, 23,609 paid, and a ball game that's been a humdinger. Strikeout number 4. Batter Marino flied to center, single to right, doubled in the second inning, moved to third on an error by the center fielder, and scored on a sacrifice fly by Ray. And then Matlock homered over the left field wall for number 9. So the Bucks lead 3-0. But what a pitching thing in the 8th. As you see here, Labor Day, Monday, September the 6th, we meet the Mets at 5:05, and that'll be a night to remember. Wilbur, Dornell, Stargell. If the Lord allows me to breathe, I wouldn't miss it. And 49,999 more of you better be here with us, huh? How can we miss to honor this great athlete? Boy, what an eighth inning. Mac Williams threw 7, then gives up a walk to Robinson. Trio doubles, the second hit of the ball game. Dernier gets an infield single, and in comes Scurry, strikes out Verheul, and it gets Rose for a double play. Slam to center, right at Dernier. 2 out. Batter, Johnny Stingray. I'd like to remind you again now, get in on that little contest. Make up a banner when you come out to the ballpark for the doubleheader for the Cardinals. As you look at Marino, make up a banner depicting what you think would be a good one to have for Johnny Stingray. Single to right scored, lined into a double play, which at the point would look very crucial back in the third, and drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. Stung one to left. There's that Stingray. Bug on the rug for Stingray. He is the second fish I've ever had as we got a bug on the rug. Sent to me by Herman Husey. There's the bug on the rug. Look at that. Isn't that a dandy? Bug on the rug. By the Stingray. I've had 2, look at Madlock laughing. I've had 2 aquarium names in my career. The Perch, which was I gave to Kenny Hanselman. He just looked like a perch the way they were going to walk Madlock. But the Stingray. Oh, I asked him about it. He says, I like that, Bob. I said, all right, partner. That's what you're going to be from now on. Stingray. So make up your banner. And when you come out here to play the Cardinals, that big doubleheader on the 14th of August, we're going to be cable casted, and we want to see all those banners out there, and then whichever ones win, we'll send out a couple of ushers and say those are winners, and we'll give you tickets to the Pirate ball game. Here's Jason Thompson. Now, here's a remarkable thing. Now they're back to that 3-3 John Thompson club. Pat Corrales is going to come out to talk to McGraw. He may be telling him to throw him the screwball. Actually, Eddie Bargo, see that bad right-hander here that he gets, had a lot of surgery on it. He could be telling him, you know, Jason, normally a left-hand batter, if you take a throw in the screwball, the pitch comes into him. He may say, hey, stay away from that screwball. Don't let that pitch come into this batter. To a right-hand batter, it would be down and away. To a left-hand batter, it would break in. Let's see what McGraw is going to try to do. Jason singled to drive in a run, was out on a brilliant play by De Jesus, and then called out on strikes. 3-0 Pittsburgh, 8th inning. A ball. The on-deck batter, Parker. You look at Stinger at second. Madlock at first. Astros beat the Reds tonight, 3-2. Lee Brandt, the losing pitcher. Winning pitcher, Nolan Ryan. No home run. Jason Thompson has an even 100 base hits. Ball 2 and strike 1. Pirates 3. Philadelphia nothing in game 1 of this abbreviated, what is short 2-game series. Base hit to right. May have a bug on the rug. We do. We got a bug on the rug. That knocks in 1 run, and they'll hold it there. That bug is on the rug. Ha-la-da-dee. Ha-da-da-da. How do you like that? Bug on the rug, folks. There's a little corn up here, you must admit. The folks love the bug on the rug. 4-0 as Jason Thompson knocks in his second run of the night, getting in 62 all told. Double to right. Knocks in the stinger with his second run scored. Puts Madlock at third and Parker 0 for 3. Ball one. Madlock, third base. Chopped over the mound. Coming up is De Jesus. Throws for the out as another run scores. Give Parker run batted in. Number 30 for David. He is out 6-3. Thompson takes third. Madlock scores on the chopper to the shortstop over the pitching mound. And now the Bucks lead, let me see, 1, 3, 4, 5-0. And Easler will be the batter. And no, I take that back 4-0 as I saw what happened here in a moment. We'll be back, and I'll correct this again. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, Rod Scurry looking for a big save. Number 7, if he can get it. And he'll be facing De Jesus, Matthews, and Schmidt. I made an error back in the 8th inning, and let me correct it. Rod Scurry came in to pitch, and he struck out McGraw. Or rather, McGraw came in to pitch and struck out Scurry, as you look at the action here. Then Marino, that's the out I forgot. Then Marino lined to center. Then Ray doubled. They walked Madlock. Thompson doubled to knock in a run, and the ground out by Parker retired to side. That's a fly to left, 1 down. So the inning in the 8th for Pittsburgh with 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. Thus the Buccos through 8, 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Philadelphia 0-3-1. Matthews, 1 for 2. Struck out, walked, and singled to right. Mac Williams, a magnificent bit of pitching. Buccos attempting to fire another shutout here. Candyman having blanked the Atlanta Braves. Roden having pitched a fantastic game. Tomorrow, Roden scheduled to go against Christensen. A 7:35 game. We hope you'll be here. 2 balls, no strikes. Interesting to see who Steve Blass is going to be able to get for our capital star of the game. It is obviously McWilliams for one, and it could very easily be Rod Scurry and a couple of other players for what they've done tonight. This has been a tremendous team effort. 3 balls and a strike. They are loosening down the line for the Buccos. Kent Ducote, just in case. There's Kent. Tree full of owls. Well, they lost him, and that is the 3rd walk. Here he comes, Mike Schmidt, and here's a guy who can make it 4-2 in a hurry.
Third baseman, Mike Schmidt.
Mike tonight has been held in tow with 2 strikeouts and a fly to deep center field. Ball 1. Ball 2. Now Pena will go out and chat a little bit. Might possibly be saying to him, hey, come on, Rod, you're overthrowing, just let her rip. Scores very quickly in the 5th inning. San Diego leading Atlanta 6-5 in the 2nd game. Front game won by Atlanta. Houston beat Cincinnati 3-2. Nolan Ryan victory. Cardinals leading the Mets 9-3 in the 7th. We'll be out there to broadcast that ball game for them tomorrow. Not to you, but for them. Montreal beat the Cubbies 4-3, and the Dodgers lead San Francisco 1-0 in the 1st. You're looking now at Matthews, the runner at first base. with one down, and the batter is Mike Schmidt. Come on out tomorrow. See the Buccos play the Phillies in the closeout game of this very short series. Christensen and Rodenton, game time 7:35. Foul back. Mike Schmidt. Down the left field line, hooking foul. Pirates 4, Philadelphia nothing. One down, one on, and Matthews on a walk. Rod Scurry trying to pick up save number 7, and Mac Williams victory number 7. Mac Williams pitched magnificently, retired the first 11 men to face him, then walked Matthews, struck out Schmidt, went through the next 3 and the next 6 and the next 7 before surrendering the first hit of the ball game. Well, now that, my friends, is something unusual. You have just seen Mike Schmidt struck out for the 3rd time tonight. And that strikeout is number 11. So Mac Williams really, with an hour and 30-some-odd minute rain delay, pitched about as well as you'll ever find anybody, and the first hit came with 1 out in the 7th inning when Matthews singled sharply to right. Here's Bo Diaz. 2 down. Bucks lead 4-0, top of the 9th. They need an out to win the ball game. Some of the fans are beginning to get up and leave, but unless I had an urgent thing, I found out never leave until the final out. Ball 1, strike 1. Strike 2. I'll never forget one day I had a 10-0 lead at Seal Stadium in San Francisco with Vernon Law pitching, 2 out and nobody on, and we won the game 10-9 with the bases loaded for the Giants. That's when I learned to never walk out. Hello, how do you do? Strikeout number 12, and the ball game is over. What a magnificent pitching performance by Rod Scurry, Mac Williams and company. Oh, baby, what a ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. The ball game is over, and they put up Lanny Frateri's favorite expression, there was no doubt about it. If I may put mine in, I'd say we had them all the way. Buccos win 4-0. We'll be back right after this.
This summer in Pittsburgh, make it first run, first row, and first rate on cable TV. With first run movies you'd wait in line to see. First row seats for superstar specials. And first rate value. Just pennies a program for all this. Plus news, sports, and more 24 hours a day. With your choice of premium channels like HBO. Watch your mail for this special offer to get cable TV in your home. And make it your first run summer in Pittsburgh.
This bud's for everyone who takes the treasure back from the sea.
This bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This bud's for you.
Be sure to check your local cable listings for Pittsburgh Pirate baseball games this summer, direct to you live from Three River Stadium, right here on this cable system.
Come on and give 'em a thrill. Live
Pirate bat boys do a great job of cleaning up our batting helmets. But for you, Hines and the Pirates have something better. This is the hitman, Mike Gates, for Hines Helmet Day. On Sunday, August 8th, all children 14 and under will receive a free Pirate helmet, courtesy of Hines. You'll look super in your new Pirate helmet, and one size fits everyone. Let me see, almost everyone. Call 323-1150 for tickets.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's no question but what this was some baseball game, and the Buccos get off winning against the Philadelphia Phillies by the score of 4-0. And you're looking at the Capitol Jewelers player of the game in Larry McWilliams. But also we're going to give a star and a big one to Rod Scurry, who did one whale of a job, and Steve Blass will be talking to him in a moment. I do want to say to you that what went through Scurry's mind had to be hellacious, because he came in with the bases loaded, and he could have been zapped right there, and they could have tied up the game, but he didn't because of the great pitching, and therefore he very deservedly belongs in the Capitol's Jewelry Hall of Fame, along with Larry McWilliams, who's with our associate Jimmy Rooker, who's being heard over on KDK. So we have no qualms whatsoever about saying hello and a Capitol's tip of the hat and a lovely gift certificate to Rod Scurry. We'll be joining them in just a moment when they're ready. But they do tell me they're ready now, and I'll be back later on to give you a recap of the ball game. But right now, here's Steve Blass with Rod Scurry.
Okay, thank you, Bob. With me is Rod Scurry. Rod, just a tremendous job. You got to have an awful good feeling coming in with the bases loaded and getting them out 1-2-3 with a great double play by Dale Berra.
Yeah, I think I really needed that in this team also, especially playing the #1 team here. And, you know, the way it looked, Larry threw a great ball game. Didn't look like he was going to need any help at all. But, you know, after the last game we came in, I gave up that hit to Chambliss, and we, you know, if I would have held him on that, we would have won that ball game. So that's kind of a pickup for myself also, you know, on this game here.
Great job. Rod, I thought the great pitch that I saw after you got the strikeout on Virgil, and I thought you pitched him so well and threw him the great curveball. I knew it was coming, but I thought the pitch that you let Pete Rose off, I know Pete is a great intelligent hitter, and I got to guess, I was guessing up in the booth that he's got to be looking for curveball. He knows that's your money pitch, and you just threw him a great fastball to start him out.
Well, I faced him, you know, third year in the big. I faced him maybe 7 times, and I've got him out every time out, and just about every time it's been on, you know, fastballs. So I figured, you know, in that situation, he's, you know, one of the smartest, one of the best hitters around, if not the best. So he's got to be up there guessing on me, and I figured in that situation, he's got to be looking for a curveball. So I outsmarted him.
Well, it was a great pitching sequence and a great save. Larry McWilliams did a great job. Rod Scurry came in and did a fantastic job in the top of the 8th inning to get him out there. And our congratulations, Rod, and we just hope it keeps going. You're just doing a super job.
Thank you. I hope it keeps going, too. Thank you.
Okay, Bob, back to you.
All right, Steve Blass and Rod Scurry. And let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, our partner Dave Justy, we hope will be rejoining us in the very near future. He's off for a seminar to get a little smarts. In the meantime, let me say we gained on one club, the Philadelphia club. The St. Louis team right now appears to have things pretty well controlled out in St. Louis, having a 9-3 lead at the end of 7 innings out there. Houston beat Cincinnati 3-2. But the games that we're concerned about, Montreal held even with us as they are still behind, but they nonetheless beat the Cubs by a score of 4-3. This was a fantastic baseball game. I'm sure you'll agree as you look at it. Pirates winning it on a score of 4-0, 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Philadelphia, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. McWilliams, the winner, 7-4. Rod Scurry, save number 7. Dick Ruthven, the loser, is 8-8. And in relief of him, Tug McGraw. So nice to see him back pitching after having undergone serious arm surgery. 1 home run in the ball game. Madlock, number 6, in the 6th inning, number 9. I think, without a doubt, we must point out quickly again that through 6 1/3 innings, it was hitless baseball for McWilliams before Matthews slammed a solid shot to right, and that broke up the no-hitter. Then he went on to retire the next 2. Finally, in the 8th inning, he weakened, walked, a double by Trio, single by Dernier. Then came Scurry, whom you just heard Steve Blass talk to, and he struck out Verheul and got Rose to tap into an unassisted, into a double play in which Berra very wisely took the play on his own at second base, threw to first for the double dip, and Rod Scurry was able to put him away, and they came up with 12 strikeouts. So 20-some-odd thousand, let's see, 23,609 looking in. No question about it, ladies and gentlemen, a very sincerely great ball game. Come on out tomorrow night. Roden and Christensen will be going Buccos and the Phils at 7:35. So, until the next cable cast we got coming up, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say so long from Three Rivers Stadium and tell you that along with Steve Blass and our partner Dave Justy, the old gunner saying so long from Three Rivers Stadium, where the final score once again, the Bucks 4, the Phillies nothing. Be certain to watch our next Action Sports Network game on Sunday, August 15th, as the Buccos face the St. Louis Cardinals in a doubleheader. And be certain to check your cable listings for Pirate Baseball on this, the Action Sports Network.